Well, back in the day, I was the only one that did not work for Chrysler. My job was making sure that 65 all the wheelbase car got to every race it went in one piece and ran. So we looked at everything.
So does that mean, Jim, you were the guy who took it over the road in the transporter?
Correct. Usually there was someone else with me, and sometimes 2 or 3, but primarily I went to every race he went.
All right, very good.
Drive onto the event.
So,
Well, the truck break down.
this next gentleman is Forrest Pitcock. Now,
Autocross.
Mr. Pitcock is fairly soft-spoken. This is the guy who took Dino Don Nicholson for $1,320 at Detroit Dragway the week before Indy. Dino's fans rioted. They was robbed, not.
Can we get an autograph?
Forrest also was the very first guy to take an altered wheelbase car down a racetrack. The very first product planning car was the one Forrest drove. But Forrest has one other claim to fame in relation to the 426 Hemi. I'm going to let him say a little bit about that.
That one he's way off.
The very first car on the Dynamite.
Wow.
He never moved.
That's awesome.
Most of my career with Chrysler was at Chrysler. I was a dyno operator and then a supervisor for 16 years. So I worked with all of the engineers and the drivers and all of that. And when the Golden Commandos needed an extra driver, I usually went along and was lucky to be at the right place at the right time. So it was a great year, 38 years, or 33 years I guess it was that I worked for Chrysler. It was really super. Thank you.
That's awesome.
My name's Warren Anderson. I'm just like Forrest. I was very lucky. Except when I started, I was 20 years old, and I was fortunate enough that my uncle was John Delafort. He was the other driver, and I went down to the shop and I kept bugging him and kept going back and forth, Finally, Ray said, "Well, if you're gonna keep coming down there, I'm gonna give you $1 an hour." I said, "I'll take it," and that's how I learned. That's how I learned in racing. I got
$1 an
started.
hour. Wow.
Yeah, $1 an hour. But I enjoyed it. I wouldn't give it away. It was one of my best times of my life. So, yeah.
I'm Evan Erickson. I worked at Chrysler Dye Engineering. We built the body panels for all the race cars at that time. And then I joined up with the Commandos. We built the Goldfish, maintained it, funny cars, fuels, lubricants, did everything except drive. That's for people with big.
We drove, but it was a truck.
Yeah, it was a truck. That was right. It was a truck, and I had to keep Jim in line.
Them old move cars you guys got, they were great. Drive right to the drag strip.
So anyway,
Happy cars.
the Commandos actually there was another pretty famous race they won right here in this area. In August of 1965, Superstock magazine had a race at York US 30, and that was considered to be the Woodstock of drag racing. It was literally a riot. It got so many, they shut down US 30, they had blocked off both sides of the road. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, and the final round was between Dick Landy and the Golden Commandos car, which at that event was driven by Al Ekstrand. And Ekstrand won, and the Golden Commandos will forever live in history as being the guys who were top dogs in probably one of the most important nights in the history of drag racing. So anyway, this is the Golden Commandos, guys. Let's give them a round of applause. And please come on over, get an autograph, and say hi. They'd love to say hi to you. We're here till 4 o'clock. Thanks.